Hello, today we're here to talk about the Varla Pegasus electric scooter. It is a dual motor electric scooter that has some serious range and power. The Pegasus is a great step up from the standard single motor commuting electric scooters. Its dual motors can produce up to 1900 watts of power that give a lot of kick, but not so much that novice riders can't handle it. It has dual suspension, giving it a smooth ride that is easy to control at higher speeds. It makes a great high-powered commuting scooter, just something that's fun to ride around or go exploring. My friend described the construction of the Pegasus as stout, and I think that is a very good word to describe it. The suspension links are heavy metal castings, the deck is large, the steering has a stiff, stable feel to it. It's a lot more substantial scooter than the smaller single motor scooters, but it's not as huge and heavy as the larger 1000 to 2000 watt dual motor scooters. Let's talk about some basic specs of the Varla Pegasus. It has dual 500 watt motors that can produce up to 1900 watts of output. It has a 48 volt 15.6 amp hour battery. It has a top speed of 28 miles per hour. It has a range of up to 28 miles. The scooter weighs in at 66 pounds. It has a max rider weight of 280 pounds. It has dual disc brakes for stopping. It has lights for riding after dark. Let's talk about riding the Pegasus. The first thing to note when you ride it is that it has a very quick takeoff when you hit the throttle. It took me a few tries starting it to get used to how quick it is. If you don't lean into it as you hit the throttle, you can easily feel like you're just hanging onto it, trying to pull yourself back onto it as it runs away. I recommend starting out in the lowest speed setting and spend some time getting used to it before trying the two faster speed settings. The steering on the Pegasus feels a lot stiffer than any generic single motor scooter. It's got a lot of mass on the front wheel with the motor and suspension links. It has a lot going on around the wheel that needs to turn, giving it the heavy, stiff feel. The Pegasus is not as nimble as a smaller single motor scooter either. It's not great for riding on crowded sidewalks with people, but it does give you a very stiff, stable feel when riding at higher speeds. The dual disc brakes give it plenty of stopping power. I felt like braking had good feel and authority. They can stop you quick from 28 miles per hour. You do need to use both brakes together to get good stopping power, especially from higher speeds. The suspension and wired tires do a good job of absorbing cracks and potholes. This scooter has a much smoother feeling ride than any single motor scooter I've tried. There's enough suspension travel to make it a comfortable ride for longer rides on our wonderful Michigan roads here. The suspension is stiff enough for heavier riders. I let my 330-pound, 6'7" friend take it for a spin, and he didn't notice the suspension bottoming out anywhere. How fast is the Varla Pegasus? It is fast. It has a top speed of 28 miles per hour. We used a GPS to measure the top speed. The fastest speed we recorded was 27.7 miles per hour. This is just under the published max at 28, so basically they're pretty honest with their top speed readings. How far will the Pegasus go? We took it on our standard e-scooter range test loop. This is a mix of road and bike paths. It has smooth pavement with very gradual hills. We go as close to 15 miles per hour as we can for the entire ride. I used a 250-pound rider for the test. The Pegasus went 25 miles before it didn't have enough power to roll forward anymore. The published range is 28 miles. 25 is about 90% of 28. This is very close to the published range. With a smaller rider going 10 miles per hour, you can easily get more than 28 miles out of it. We took the Pegasus to our standard hill climb test hill. This is a half-mile test hill with several 10% grades. We again used a 250-pound test rider for hill climbing. The Pegasus made it up the hill in 1 minute and 50 seconds. This is only a few seconds slower than the fastest e-bike we have tested. Our test hill has several seconds of very rough pavement. We had to let off the throttle in a few spots going up the hill just to keep it under control. With most lower powered scooters, we were 100% full throttle for the entire hill, but the Varla has enough power and speed that we couldn't safely ride it full throttle the entire way up. Let's talk about the controls. The Pegasus has a thumb throttle on the right handlebar. It has two brake levers for the disc brakes. It does not have any electronic braking. It has a 3-button controller on the left handlebar for turning the scooter on and off and changing modes. It has a black and gray LCD display that looks similar to what we see on a lot of low-end e-bikes. It shows power levels PAS setting. E-scooters do not have PS or pedal assist. So the display is not that fancy, but it works and shows all the information you need. The scooter has 3 power settings. This give it a top speed of 10 mile per hour, 16 mile per hour, and 28 mile per hour. You can also set it to use one motor or both motors to turn the power level up or down. The Pegasus has a menu with a bunch of options and settings you can access. The two most notable features in the menu option are cruise control and the setting to change it, so you have to kick it and get it moving before it will start. Cruise control is by default disabled and not active, so if you want cruise, you have to go in the menu and turn it on. The scooter comes from the factory set with a kick to start disabled. The scooter will start from a standstill as soon as you hit the throttle. If you like your scooter to need to be rolling before the motor can be turned on, you can have it that way. You just have to go into the menu and change the settings and it'll work that way. Let's talk about the folding mechanism and portability. The Varla Pegasus weighs in at 66 pounds, so it's still light enough you can lift into the back of an SUV without too much effort, but it's kind of right at the limit of what one person can easily lift up and carry around any kind of distance. I can carry it around my house, I can carry it up and down the stairs to our basement storage area, but I would not want to pick up a scooter that weighs any more than the Pegasus does. The folding mechanism has a release handle with a small secondary latch. The small secondary latch is a little slider that goes up and down. It's not that easy to latch and lock in place, and it's easy to be not latched when you think it is. I had the handlebars unfold on me once when I started riding it because of this, so now I check the folding mechanism very close now every time to make sure that the little slider is fully locked in and that the latching mechanism really is locked in place. This is one area where the scooter could use some improvement. The Varla Pegasus is a high-powered scooter that can blast up hills. It lives up to its published 28 mile per hour top speed and 28 mile range. It has a smooth ride with dual suspensions. It's easy enough to ride for anyone who has ridden a single motor scooter before. It does have a few downsides, such as the stiff steering that make it hard to ride in tight spaces, and its folding mechanism works, but it leaves some room for improvement. Overall, the Pegasus has good performance and is a good value for the price. We can recommend it for anyone looking for a more powerful scooter but doesn't want to spend thousands for a really large beastly 2000 watt and up scooter. Thanks for watching. If you found this useful, please hit the like and subscribe.